As we get you ready for the Daytrips and Destinations Expo, there is something you'll need for a lot of the destinations, maybe not so much the day trips. We're talking, of course, about a passport. You can get the process started, though, right at the Expo. Here to talk about how to do that and the demand for passports these days, we're happy to have back David Riddell from the Connecticut Passport Agency. Yeah, we've talked to you before. We try to bring you in every time because this is something a lot of people do. Yes. I guess the demand is going way up this year.
Yes, the demand is actually going way up. With the Western Hemisphere initiative that was enacted in 2007, we're seeing a steady incline of applications for renewals as well as first-timers.
And that's because usually passports are 10
Every
years.
10 years. Yep.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so what do you need to do? What do you need to know if you want to apply? Well, actually, let's just start with this. How early do you need to do it?
You should do it at least 6 months before the expiration of your passport.
Okay.
You need at least 6 months on it to travel overseas. So I would say if you're less than a year out, go ahead and start looking at it. Definitely look before you actually book your trip, because a lot of people forget that, and at the last minute they show up leaving the next day.
Yeah, let's face it, a lot of us sort of wait for the last minute for a lot of these things, and passports is just not one area where you can do it.
Yes.
Even though you guys are trying to make things as easy as you can for people.
Yes.
All right, how about if people don't have a passport, how long does the process take?
Well, at the event itself, at Daytrips and Destinations, once you come in, you can fill out the application right there. Bring your long form birth certificate with you, a photograph, your driver's license, check, money order, credit card, and when we accept the application, we take it directly back to our agency.
Okay.
The turnaround time is about 3 weeks, which is a lot quicker than when you would go to an actual facility to do it.
Okay. How long does it take when you do go to a facility?
A facility right now is about 6 to 7 weeks right now, because of the demand right now with applications coming in from all over the country. We actually hired a lot more individuals over the last couple of years, and it's helped to keep that demand in check with what's coming in.
What numbers can you give me as far as just demand?
Well, I mean, right now, like last week in Connecticut, we did, I think, 6,000 to 7,000 applications. Wow. So the demand is at least double the amount of what it was last year.
That's amazing. Talk to me about security itself, just why a passport is so important.
Well, with security itself, I mean, it's a way for individuals to identify who you are, that you're an actual U.S. citizen. So whenever you're overseas, you won't have any problems getting into that specific country. And it's not only good for travel, but it's also good for ID. A lot of people get it for ID. So.
This is true. Yeah, I know my wife lost her driver's license for once, and good things, you know, we traveled for our honeymoon last year, had them all up to date. It winds up working perfectly. You mentioned you need at least 6 months on that passport. Yes. It seems like that's something that could be easy for people to forget. What is behind that? Why is that the case?
There's a law that was put into effect by the United States as well as other countries overseas that if you're traveling overseas, you have to have at least 6 months on it, so that if you're overseas, something happens drastically where you're not able to get back, at least then your passport is a legal document, so you can show it to individuals.
That would make more sense too. What about cruises?
Cruises, you should have a passport. You can do a passport book or a card.
Okay.
We tell people with the card you can only go by land or by sea. The book is good for everything. Most people, if they do go on cruises, we usually tell them get the book as well, just in case something happens where you get into an accident or something, which hopefully doesn't happen. You'll have to actually, if you only have the card, you'll have to go to a consulate and get a book so that you can fly home.
Okay. All right, so one more time, I just want you to sort of run down, if anybody's interested in going to the Daytrips and Destinations Expo, it is so much easier to get it done right there. Let's go through the checklist of what you need to bring.
Okay, so we have applications already there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Bring a photograph, your long form birth certificate or citizenship paperwork, could be a naturalization, your check, money order, credit card, and your driver's license. We'll take everything from you there, and like I said, take it right back to the agency with us.
What restrictions are there for the photograph?
Photograph, it should be 2x2. You can get it pretty much at Walgreens, CVS, Costco's. You can go to a post office and get it. No glasses at all. But pretty much most of the actual places know what the limitations are and stuff on it.
They do, yeah. When I had mine done, it was done at a CVS really quickly. It's just something that's good to know ahead of time instead of just walking up there and getting surprised. Because as we've said before, this is something it's a duck that you want to have in a row well before you travel on out. But you folks at the Passport Agency really doing everything you can to try to keep things as expeditious as possible.
Yeah, we're with the demand coming in, we're trying our best. We've hired a substantial amount of individuals to take on the demand and stuff.
Yeah, but once again, leave time because they're expecting a lot more applications now that a lot of the people who got them in 2007 are starting to see that 10-year window expire. But a reminder, the Daytrips and Destinations Travel and Family Fun Expo happening on Saturday, May 6th, so mark your calendar. It's under 2 weeks away, and as usual, it's happening at the AquaTurf Club in Southington. You can get your passport application process right there. Mr. Riddell, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Good to have you. All right, coming up next on Good Day Connecticut, we are heading back to the circus for the final time. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus is coming to Hartford. Sean Pagano is going to have more on that coming up.